Hello, I hope everyone's doing well. I want to track my progress. So essentially, I have had really bad stomach problems for the last sort of 6 months or so. Really bad reflux, really bad cramping, IBS, pain, like the worst bloating I've ever had. And I've never experienced this kind of thing before. Like, I've never had stomach problems. I've never had digestive problems. This has been a new experience for me, and hats off to people who have been struggling with this for a really long time. It's really debilitating. There's been weeks where I haven't slept because I've been kept up with really bad reflux, and it's not acid, it's like gas in my stomach. Like, my stomach's not digesting stuff, and it's just producing loads of gas, and I'm getting bloated, and it's like keeping me awake, and I've been taking like loads of like antacid stuff. Anyway, it's been awful, and I've been on a journey to try to figure out what works for me, or if I need to change my diet. So there's been a few things that I've done. I've really reduced and cut out, like, well, interestingly, I sort of haven't really been drinking at all this year, and like, I would have thought that alcohol was a major trigger, but it doesn't seem like it is, to be honest, for me. Or maybe it is, and the correlation is much later. But anyway, doesn't seem to be a link with coffee either. It seems to just be food. Anyway, and I looked into a lot of different diets. Even, I think I just have a really sensitive digestive problem because I've been taking like probiotics and gut immune things since this has happened, and even that doesn't seem to help. Sometimes it makes it worse. So I've gotten to a point where I'm just not taking any more supplements, even though I just bought this like gut reset thing. I did 2 days of it, and I felt like my symptoms were worse, so I stopped that. But that's all to say, what I'm doing now is trying to go back to a few basic principles that I used to follow around plant-based eating. So I used to be a vegan maybe 9 years ago. After I went to India, I was vegan on and off for about 5 years. And then since then, another 5 years, I've just been eating, still healthy, and a little bit of vegetarian, but mostly I've been eating like eggs and dairy and meat and chicken and fish and all of that sort of stuff. And I just went to Bali maybe a week ago, and because the vegan food there is so good, they have like salad bowls, and they have veggie curries and lots of yummy vegan plant-based meals. I noticed that my symptoms kind of settled down a bit, which was really strange for me because I have been looking at like the FODMAPs, and that's all the trigger foods are carbohydrates and fruits and vegetables, and the non-trigger foods are meat and eggs. So it was really interesting for me to experience a reduction in my symptoms after going plant-based for a few days. And since I've been back, which is only 2 days, I've been continuing on the plant-based bandwagon, and my symptoms I haven't had a flare-up again. So this is really fascinating for me because I thought that it was the carbohydrates that were triggering for me, and that the meat and the dairy were, or not the meat and the dairy, but the meat and the eggs and the fish and the tuna and stuff like that were non-trigger foods for me. And so it's been a really interesting experience. So all that to say is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to track my progress. I'm going to track my symptoms. I'm going to be following a really simple plant-based diet, lots of grains, lots of veggies, lots of fruit, lots of beans, lots of potatoes, low kind of fat, a little bit of seeds and nuts, and like tofu and stuff. No oils, because I've heard that can be a bit of a trigger, and I haven't been eating oil lately, and I haven't had any symptoms or flare-ups, which is interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this kind of low-ish fat plant-based diet, and monitor my symptoms. And I'm going to share this because I feel like this is quite a common experience people have. Like I feel like a lot of people have digestive problems, maybe not exactly the same as me. Mine was really started with like reflux and just a lot of gas in my stomach, and like belching, which is very unattractive, and a lot of bloating and things like that. So I feel like a lot of people deal with that. Sorry, I have a bump on my head. Oh, and I'm sweating because it's very hot in Sydney. I got hit in the head with a surfboard 2 days ago, so I have a little bit of a bump. But yeah, so I'm going to track my symptoms, and I'm going to share and let you guys know, or let the world out there know what worked for me, what didn't work, and hopefully it can help someone. Also, just wanting to say that I have a qualification in nutrition, so I'm very aware of nutrition and planning my meals properly. I'm also a therapist, so I've got a lot of experience working in nutrition. Maybe don't try this by yourself if you are don't know anything about nutrition. It's probably best to get the advice of a professional or an expert, but because I have a lot of experience already in nutrition, I feel quite comfortable doing this on my own. So I'll keep you posted on what I'm eating and how I'm going.